So we'll see the next important concept, questions related to ages. So friends, in your exam, you are sure to get one question from this concept. So we'll see how to do the workings related to this concept. Suppose you have a ratio 3:2. So multiplying or dividing with the same value, you end up with the equivalent ratio, that is the same ratio. But suppose, so all these concepts we saw in partnership, multiplying and dividing with the same value, you end up with the same ratio. Related to that, we worked out all the questions in partnership. So suppose you have a ratio A by B. So if the numerator and denominator are increased by the same value, so the value will not be the same. You will get a different ratio. So adding or subtracting the numerator and the denominator or both parts of the fraction, though the value is same, you will not get the same ratio. Say, I'll show you how. Say for example, there are two persons A and B. So let their ages be 10 and 15 years. So what is the ratio of their ages? So 10 and 15, when simplified, you get 2:3. So ratio of their ages is 2:3. See, after 5 years, what will be their ages? So after 5 years, we add 5 with A's age, and for B also we'll add the same value. So after 5 years or after 7 years, so both values will be increased by a same value. So now A's age after 5 years is 15, and what will be B's age? So it will be 20. So after 5 years, A's age is 15 and B's age is 20. So what is the ratio we get? So both common factor we have 5. So when you simplify, so you get a different ratio, not the same 2:3. So we get another ratio 3:4. So when you add or subtract, though the values are same, you will not get the same ratio. So application of this concept is the ages question, and we will see how to work out the questions when you get in this topic. So by multiplying or dividing the numerator and denominator by a same value, you will end up with the same ratio, but adding or subtracting, so though the values are same, so you will not end up with the same ratio. You will get a different ratio. So now we'll see how to work out the questions which you get under this ages. So let us see an example of working of this ages question. So the question here we have is, present ages of A and B is in the ratio 7:8. Before 4 years, their ages was in the ratio 5:6. Find A's present age. So we have present ages ratio given and the past ages ratio given. So present ages of A and B is 7:8, which means A's age is 7 parts. So we'll take as 7x. And B's age is 8 parts, 8x. So we need to find A's age. For that, we need the value of x, that is value of one part, which we have cancelled out from their ages to get the ratio 7:8. So the working will be, so A's age 7x and B's age 8x, and before 4 years the ratio is given. So before 4 years means, so from 7x subtracting 4, so same period, so both values for both persons we subtract 4 to get the ratio before 4 years. So 7x minus 4 by 8x minus 4 is 5/6. So by solving this, we get value of x. So cross multiplying, so 6 into 7x minus 4 equal to 5 into 8x minus 4. So by expanding this, 42x minus 24, 40x minus 20. So bringing all x to one side. So 42x minus 40x is 24 minus 20. So that is 2x equal to 4 and x value is 4 by 2 which is equal to 2. So we have got value of one part x, that is 2. And now you can give A sage or B sage. So A sage 7 into 2, 14, so which is the required answer. And if B sage is asked, so 8 into 2, 16. So 7 into 2, 14, 8 into 2, 16. So the answer here is 14. Suppose if you get value of one part as 3, so A's age will be 7 into 3, 21. B's age will be 8 into 3, 24. So it depends upon this value of one part x to get their exact A's and B's age. So you can avoid all these workings by using a simple concept. So I'll give you a simple pattern to avoid all these workings. So when you are working this ages question, you have 3 periods. So present, future and the past. So there are 3 periods, past, present and future. So in one question they will give ratios of 2 periods, either present and past, so which we have in our example, or present and future, or they may give past and future. So present and past, or present and future, or they may give ratios of past and future also. But at least we need 2 ratios. So at least we need 2 ratios to work out, present past or present future or past and future. If only one ratio is there, so then the answer will be cannot be determined. So some questions will end up with only one ratio. So there instead of working you can go for direct cannot be determined. So if one ratio is given, they will give some other data like sum of their ages, product of their ages, difference between their ages. So that type of working we will see later. So here we will work out when 2 ratios are given how to proceed. So in our question they have given present and past. So when they give present ratio and past, so write present ratio in the first row, past ratio in the second row. If suppose they give present and future, so then to write present in the first row and future in the second row. So whenever you have present ratio given, so see that you write the present ratio in the first row, past or future in the second row. Suppose if past and future is given, so write the past in the first row and future ratio in the second row. So in our question, so we have present and past. So present ratio is 7:8 and past ratio, that is before 4 years, ratio is given as 5:6. So how many years back? 4 years. So we subtract 4 from this person and 4 from this person also. The one which you are subtracting or adding, so you write in the second row. So now we can avoid all this working by following a simple pattern. So we need to find value of one part. So to find value of one part, so whatever the ratios are, cross multiply and then subtract and write in the denominator. So whichever is higher, you multiply and subtract the smaller value from the higher value. So 7 into 6, it is 42 and 8 into 5 it is 40. 42 minus 40 is 2. So after doing all the working, the final step we have got here itself. So the denominator is got. So to get the numerator, you cross multiply this 2. So 4 into 6 is 24. 5 into 4 is 20. 24 minus 20 is 4, which is the numerator. So that is the final step, numerator. So by this pattern, so this seems to be like a smiley picture, smiley pattern. So using this smiley pattern, we have got this value of one part, 4 by 2, which is equal to 2. So now I will give you this working in detail so that when you go through you will understand. So all this working is avoided using this smiley pattern. So to find value of one part, so the denominator part will be the product difference of the given ratios. So write the ratios one below the other. So find the product difference. So here 7 into 6, 42 is higher. So from that you subtract product of 8 and 5. So which is equal to So for you to understand, I am writing this elaborately. So seeing the ratios itself, you can get the denominator in seconds. So 42 minus 40, that is 2. So for the numerator, so multiply 6 and 4. So cross multiply. Don't multiply this 4 and 5. Both will give you the same. But if values are different, you will go wrong. So 4 into 6 minus 4 into 5. So when you are working this ages question, so we will write the ages on either side, cross multiplying and subtract. When they say before 4 years or after 5 years, this value will be same. So for that, instead of multiplying and subtracting, so we can take this 4 common. So you subtract and multiply. So here 24 and 20 are simple numbers. Say suppose for example, you get the ratio 19 is to 17 before 3 years. So we will multiply 17 and 3, 19 and 3 and we will subtract. So but instead you can subtract these values, 19 minus 17 is 2 and you can multiply it with 3. So numerator working will become simple. So you subtract and multiply this number of years. So here 6 minus 5 is 1 and this is 4, which is equal to 2. So we have got the value of one part using this smiley pattern. Here value of one part is 2. So whatever value you get for this one part, this has to be multiplied only with the first row. So sometimes you may get correct answer, but when you multiply with the second row, sometimes you may go wrong, because we take x for 7 and 8. So multiply this value of one part only with the first row. So here value of one part is 2 and A sage will be 7 into 2, 14 and 8 into 2, 16. So by avoiding all the working, so using the smiley pattern, you can get this value of one part, so within seconds, and you can give the value. So but here there is another shortcut to work out. So using smiley pattern itself is a short method to get this value of one part. So but when you are working out, just give a glance at these ratios. So this ratios we have 7 is to 8 and before 4 years it is 5 is to 6. So by how many parts this value is less? So it is less by 2 parts, and 8 and 6 this is also less by 2 parts. So whenever this value is same, so no need to use the smiley concept also. So the number of years what you have, you divide by the common difference. So this is decreased by 2 parts and this the other part is also decreased by value 2. So dividing by 2 you get value of one part as 2. So seeing the question, so friends, just give a glance at the ratios and then try to solve the following. So here it is decreased by 2 and this is decreased by 2. So value of one part is the number of years, divide by this common decrease, 2 is value of one part, and you get 7 into 2, 14 and 8 into 2, 16 will be their ages. So it was decreased by 2. Suppose you have the ratio 5:6 and this becomes, say for example, so the present ratio is 5:6 and after 5 years it becomes 6:7. So you can use the smiley concept to find value of one part and proceed. But here when you check before working, so this is increased by one part and this is increased by one part. So earlier we saw decreased by 2 parts. So we divided the number of years by 2. So here it is increased. For increase also you can have the same working. So increased by one part both. So value of one part will be this number of years itself, 5. So 5 by 1 which is equal to 5. So the present ages to find, we get value of one part as 5. So whenever increase or decrease if it is same, so no need to you do any working. So divide the number of years accordingly. So here it is increased by 1, value of one part is 5 itself and their present ages will be 5 into 5, 25 and 5 into 6, 30. So I will give another example. When past and when present and future is given. So present ratio is 5:7. So the question here is present ratio 5:7. So there we saw for before 4 years. Here after 4 years, the ratio is given as 3:4. So for A and B. So here I had briefed out the question. So A and B, present ages is in the ratio 5:7. After 4 years, their ages will be in the ratio 3:4. Find their present ages. So we have, using the smiley pattern you can work out, but before working you check with the ratios. So here 5 and 3, so it is decreased by 2. Here 7 and 4, it is decreased by 3. So here it is different, so you have to use the smiley concept to find value of one part. So this is after 4 years. So write this number of years in the second row. So here as the decrease is different, so using the smiley concept, we'll see how easily you can get value of one part. So to find value of one part, so product difference of the ratios will be the denominator. So 7 into 3, 21, 5 into 4, 20, 21 minus 20, denominator is 1. And difference of 3 and 4 is 1 into 4. So immediately we have got value of one part. So present ages will be 4 into 5, 20. So A's present age is 20 and B's present age, it is 28. So easily using the smiley concept, so we have got value of one part. So whether they give present past, present future or past future, you can follow the same pattern. So when it is present and past, the number of years will be the value which you decrease. When it is present and future, number of years will be the value of one part which you increase. So when it is past and future, so the same working. So I will tell you what will be the increment. So if suppose past ratio is given, say for example A is to B and future ratio is there, say example C is to D. So if this is past ratio 2 years back and if the present ratio and the future ratio from the present, if they give us 3 years, so from the present we have gone 2 years back, that is past ratio is got. From the present we have come 3 years ahead, that is the future ratio. So the increment will be from past to future, you add the number of years, 2 years back and 3 years ahead. So the difference here from past to future, the travel will be sum of these years. Now adding the past and future years, you get this increase or decrease, you get the increase, and using the smiley pattern, you can find value of one part and proceed. So this smiley concept, not only for ages question, you can use for other patterns also, so that we'll see later. And we'll see a few examples which we work out using this smiley concept.